Now we are going to discuss about vector processing. Before that, we have separate lectures for another topic like arithmetic pipeline, instruction pipeline. So here you see in case of vector processing, how supercomputers are going to work or when we require operations to perform in very fast, in nanoseconds, microseconds, milliseconds. So in that case, how this vector is going to help us. So how we are going to perform the operation with the help of matrix to obtain the very fast execution. That all things we are going to discuss under the vector processing. So still you didn't subscribe our channel, please subscribe it, share with your friends, like, write your comments. All your suggestions are welcome. So let's see about vector processing. So in case of vector processing, the problems are formulated here in terms of vector and matrix. Okay, so like you know about the array. For the what is the use of this science and engineering applications like we have ISRO, DRDO, okay, when they are launching satellites, all this, or some we have some weather monitoring. In that case, fast processing is required. So various applications are like long range weather forecasting, petroleum explorations. Next, we have seismic data analysis, medical diagnosis, aerodynamic and space flight simulations, artificial intelligence and expert systems. Now this you know about the world of AI. Mapping the human genome. Next, we have image processing. So these are having multiple like we have mainless car, okay, auto driving car. So in this all, they have to take very fast decision. Otherwise, within a fraction of second, some accident is going to occur. So here, if you see some examples when no operation instruction is there, so they have written continuously each and everything: load, increment, addition, subtraction, branch to X, no operation instruction in X. So all these are considered in the various cycles. Whereas if we are going to rearrange the instruction, so here if you see again we have load, increment, branch, X, addition, subtraction, instruction in X registers. So that 8 is reduced here in the 6. So we are rearranging the instruction to avoid the delay. Okay. And we can perform the execution in the less time. Now we are about vector operation, how vectors are going to work, that how we are going to perform the addition and subtraction, that we are going to take one examples. So vector or matrices for the floating point numbers is being considered for the arithmetic operation, and vector is ordered set of one-dimensional array of data items, like something we are writing in the arrays having different positions, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, having different position, different data are available. So particular Vi will represent the ith position in that vector. If generally if counting will start from I equal to 0, then first position, second position I equal to 1, like this, we are going to obtain the elements that is called as the indexing. Now for this, how this conventional scalar processor and vector processor is going to utilize the do loop that we are going to see here. So now if you see that here at the do 20i, this indexing of the vector length is 100. So it is given from 1 to 100, and thus having two vectors, one vector is B and another is the A. So that corresponding position of each vector is being added and is being stored in the C. Again, it is being completed. Again, they are incrementing the I, and again incrementing the I until I is less than equal to 0. This process will be repeated with the help of this loop 20. So this program adding two vectors A and B, length is 100 and output is stored in the C. Whereas in case of machine language, it will have initialize I equal to 0, then it's going to read the particular position of the vector A again for the vector B, and again particular position addition is being stored in the C. After that, increment of I takes place. If I is less than or equal to 100, then it is going to the here loop address 20 and it will continue the process. So you'll see that This one is the faster. Okay, this is taking the much time. And in vector processing, now finally, if you see that it's eliminate the overhead associated with time and operation, whatever initialization, calling the register values, all these things are being eliminated here. And with the help of single vector, it's going to perform the operation like here. That is the outcome of that addition of A and B vectors directly is being stored in the vector C, that is from the 1 to 100. So you see that the single line is going to perform the operation in case of concept of vector processing. So here we have some instruction format of the vector processors. Like here we have operation codes, then we have basic address source 1, basic address source 2, and basic address of the destination, and vector length is being defined here. So with the help of single line, that able to perform the operation. Now we are going to see generally how this matrix multiplication takes place. So if here example is taken 3 cross 3 matrix, so that information is being stored in the matrix C here. So for this, if you see that is represented by Cij, so particular location in the C matrix. So it is going to multiply the corresponding values of the matrix A to the corresponding value of the matrix B. So it is important here. It is Ik and here we have Kj. Okay. And K is going to change from the 1 to 3. So if you want to multiply here, now what will happen here? This row of first matrix and the column of the second matrix will be multiplied together. A1, 1 multiplied with B11, A12 will be multiplied with B21, A3 will be multiplied with B31, and finally it will be added together. That will be stored in the C11. So how this inner product consists of sum of K, so that is being represented here with the help of C. Now again we are going to see further with the help of timing cycle also. So now if you are going to consider the floating point multiplied pipeline, means how each and every step takes place, that can be seen in the pipeline. So here 4 segments are being considered. So that's why pipeline having here 4 segments. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now source A is kept here and source B is here. So total here 8 cycles are being required. After multiplication, again addition will take place. Okay, so for that again we have 4 sections for the adder pipeline also. So 4 for the products and 4 for the adder segments. So, and at the beginning of the 9th cycle, output we are going to obtain adder is the A1, B1, and output of the multiplier will be A5, B5. And it is being added here, and that operation we are going to obtain. And if you want to break this summation into 4 sections, how this section is going to perform. So this is happening here. Okay, this 4 section you can see. And when there are no more product terms to be added, system insert force 0 into the multiplier pipeline. So this is how inner calculation takes place. Next is about memory interleaving. So like if you see that we have seen earlier in case of data hazards, so we have separate memory for data and instruction, that is better. So similarly here memory is separated into different segments. So here we have consideration of the 4. So we have memory array, and if you see that here we have address bus and data bus bidirectional is connected here to the same memory with the help of data register. So here at the same time, on the basis of 2 LSB bits, since we are considering here 4 segments here, 4 different memory array, 4 different segments in the memory, 4 different partition in the memory we are going to consider. So 2 LSB bits will be sufficient to represent that which memory segment we are going to select. So for the help of 2, we have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So that will be deciding that through which memory you want to communicate. Suppose 0, 0 means this one, 0, 1 this, 1, 0 this, 1, 1 from here. And Memory module is again we have a memory array which has own address and data registers, and only two LSB bits are required here to distinguish between the different memory. And in interleaved memory, different sets of address are assigned to the different memory module, so that with the help of last two LSB bits, we are able to decide. Okay. And again, memory, that modular memory useful in the system with pipeline and vector processing. So next we have about the supercomputer, that how this supercomputer is going to work. So okay, so sometimes maybe we have some history about the supercomputers, that how supercomputer is going to work and when it came in the markets. So first commercial supercomputer, if you see that, it came in 1976. So commercial supercomputer with vector instruction and pipeline, that is for the floating point arithmetic operation, is called as the supercomputers. So that computer which is used vector instruction and pipeline for the floating point, that is called as the supercomputers. And it is very powerful. It has high performance. It is used for the scientific computation. And the special techniques it has to remove the heat from the circuit, that is the heat sink. Like if you see that normal PC also is being get heated. And here instruction sets contains the standard data transfer, data manipulation, and program control instruction. It has again instruction that is being processed with the help of vectors and with a combination of scalar and vector also. It is known for the high computational speeds. It is very fast. It has large memory systems and it is extensive for the parallel processing. And it has limited to the scientific applications only, and like weather forecasting, seismic wave analysis, space research. In a starting also we have seen what are the various uses. It has limited market due to high price. Everybody can't afford this. And here flops is used to define the number of floating point operation can be executed every second, per second. That is done by unit is what here flops. So that mega flops going to denote the million flops, giga flops denote the billion flops. Means this much floating point operation can be executed. And here cycle time is around 4 to 20 nanoseconds. And first supercomputer was developed in 1976. His name was Cray 1. Okay. And it uses the vector processing with 12 distinct function units in parallel. And clock cycle was 12.5 nanoseconds and rate was the 80 megaflops. So these are just for the knowledge purpose. And starting we have what are the important things about supercomputers. So this Cray research extended the multi-processor configuration, that is called as Cray XMP and Cray YMP. Like we have different version we call in processor Intel i3, 4, 5, 7, 9 like this. That new Cray 2 is available, that is 12 times more powerful in compared to Cray 1. And another was supercomputer was the Fujitsu BP200. It is the model supercomputers. It has 33 vectors and 195 scalar instructions. Apart from this, it is going to use the clock pulse of the 3.2 nanoseconds and perform the 5 gigaflops. So this is the Fujitsu BP200 is much faster in compared to Cray 1 that you compare on the basis of all this. So here we have seen the importance of the vector processing and how vector processing takes place and how it has various applications and what are the supercomputers that we have seen. Any doubt is there, you write in the comment box, like and share with your friends. Thank you. Thank you very much.